All right, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of watching the NFC East. The teams are just not playing well. It's currently 10-7. Getting ready for halftime. Again, we always go live at halftime of these Thursday night football games, and incompletion is going to lead to a field goal attempt by the Eagles. But I wanted to get on here, give everyone time to come in. I know that there's some stuff going on tonight, so might not be as big of a crowd. But guys, let's get the chat room fired up. Frizzy comes in and says, hello, how you doing? Good to see you in here. So let's start this off the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this preview edition, this live preview edition of Billievers Talk. We're going to talk about the game coming up this Sunday between our Buffalo Bills and the New York, New Jersey Jets. Again, guys, thank you for joining me. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, guys, please be sure to hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports updates. Don't forget to join me this Sunday as we go live for the game between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets, giving you live play-by-play and reaction every single snap. Guys, join the conversation with everyone else from Bills Mafia as we have a good time watching the game. Matt Cap, go Bills. Glad to see you in the chat room as well. As you guys come into the chat room, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Also, share this video. Let people know that we are here talking about the Buffalo Bills and the game this Sunday between our Bills and the New York, New Jersey Jets. And guys, we already know what happened week one, right? Let's not go too far into our memories and remember what happened week one when the Buffalo Bills played against the New York Jets. The Bills obviously winning that game. Jets still looking for their first win of the season, and let's hope that it does not come from the Buffalo Bills. Okay, the Buffalo Bills looking to kind of get back on track, as the thumbnail suggests. And give me 1 second here, guys. And get back on the winning track. I don't know what happened, but at halftime it's 10-7 still. So someone can tell me in the chat what happened, because it looked like the Eagles had a chip shot for a field goal to make this one 13-7. But something happened, and it's 10-7 at halftime. No surprise, the NFC East messes this thing up. But yeah, so someone let me know in the chat what happened as I share this on Twitter and let people know that we are live. But yeah, it's 10-7 at halftime. So again, we want to talk about this game and hopefully get you back for the second half. Again, even if I go past halftime, it's not like you're missing much, right? No one's going to be upset if I don't get them back for the second half of this game, as we watch Carson Wentz and Daniel Jones both have a hard time getting these offenses going. We know that the Eagles have a lot of injuries, so that's no surprise there. I think the spread for this game was 4.5 points, but we'll see what happens in the second half. Again, guys, I'm just posting on Twitter real quick. So again, guys, thank you for joining me. Hey, Daniel, glad to see you in the stream. Bills will destroy the Jets. No harm to Jets fans. I hope so. I've been thinking all this week about what it would mean if the Bills somehow get upset in this game. Listen, they're still an NFL team, whether we like it or not. Whether they deserve to be or not, I should say. They're still an NFL team. This is still a divisional game. This is still a road game for the Buffalo Bills. Now, big good thing is right now the Buffalo Bills 2-0 against the division. I know we've struggled the last 2 weeks, right? We've struggled. The struggles are obvious where they are, both on the offensive and defensive fronts, losing our last 2 games to the Titans and Chiefs. But this is a chance for us to start getting back on track. This is a chance for the Buffalo Bills to start moving back in that right direction, right? Remember the first game that we played against the New York Jets, that was the first game in Josh Allen's career where he threw for over 300 yards. Remember when we were satisfied with that? I think it was 317 yards they threw for in that game, ran for another 50 or so, 2 passing touchdowns in that week 1 matchup, 1 rushing touchdown in that week 1 matchup. Remember the euphoria and how excited we were after that week 1 game. Guys, let's get that back. Let's get that back. Yes, I know we struggled. Yes, I know there are problems on this team, right? Yes, I know a lot of Bills Mafia is not happy about the fact that we just got quit in Spain. But guys, some executive decisions go beyond play of the field. Right? Some executive decisions go beyond play on the field. And I know some of Bills Mafia is upset we didn't just reach out and try to get Yannick Ngakoue, who was just traded. And, part of me says we could have potentially made a trade, but another part of me says we didn't have the salary cap space to take on Yannick Ngakoue's salary, and that's why we didn't make a play at him. A close win would be bad. A loss would be devastating. Jason, again, in this league, winning is winning. I want to see the Buffalo Bills. We went over this yesterday, right? Yesterday, I did my picks, right? And I included this game in my picks, obviously picking against the spread and straight up. Guys, I always hate double-digit spreads in the NFL. You know, if the Bills do not cover, are we going to start panicking? What do we want to see here? Because week one, we wanted to see a double-digit win, I believe it was, a double-digit win, and see Allen not make any mistakes. And those things happened, and yet we still had people chanting in our ears why the Bills were able to do those things and why the Bills should be worrying. So what would satisfy you? Again, the spread's 13 points. It's as simple as they need to cover the spread. How big of a margin of victory do you need to see to be impressed and to be happy with this team going further? Because obviously we're not happy with this team right now. We're not happy with losing 2 in a row to the Titans and Chiefs. We're not happy that the 2 teams we lose to are going to probably be 2 of the other 3 teams who we think are going to win their division, right? We think the Titans have a leg up on everyone else in that division because they do as far as winning that division, sitting at 5-0. Pretty sure the Chiefs have a leg up on their division. Pretty sure they are going to win their division in the West. So that means there are 2 teams right now that are going to win their division that we're going to struggle with when it comes to tiebreakers and things like that when we get to where we hopefully are, and that's AFC's champions, right? So let's pretend that we're the 4 seed. Okay, well then who are we playing? We're playing the best wild card team, which at this point looks like it's going to be the Steelers or the Ravens. And this Bills team right now, week 6, going into week 7, is not good enough to beat either the Steelers or the Ravens. That's just the truth. You know, whether we like it or not, that's just the truth. So what do we have to do to get better? It starts this week against the Jets. So guys, let me know in the comment section. Hey, Kevin, glad to see you in here. I don't care about the score. I just want to see the Bills to play well. I'll never have it feel like the game is in doubt. Pat comes in and says, true. That's just the truth. Right now, the truth is the Bills winning the AFC East become the 4th seed, which is fine. Again, my preseason prediction, my preseason expectations where we win the AFC East and we win 1 playoff game. But this team right now cannot hang against either the Ravens or the Steelers. Now, I'm not saying that we can't get better. We absolutely can. And I still trust this coaching staff to get it together. You know, we talk about how bad this defense is right now. How bad or good is this defense going to turn around and be in December, in January? Listen, Buffalo football in January, it's going to be hard to pass the ball. And that goes 2 ways. That goes 2 ways. So first of all, the Bills need to start running the ball better. Because when it comes to winter in Buffalo, you need to run the ball. I don't care how strong Josh Allen's arm is. You need to run the ball. If you want to host a playoff game, it's probably going to be cold. You need to run the ball. And that goes for the opposition too. And listen, we've seen how this defense can do when they play to stop the run. We saw that again week 5 against the Las Vegas Raiders, or week 4 against the Las Vegas Raiders, and then week 5 against the Tennessee Titans. We were able to make Derek Carr try to beat us. He wasn't able to. We were going to make Ryan Tannehill try to beat us. He was able to. Is Ryan Tannehill going to be able to beat us in December if we shut down Derrick Henry? If we don't have 3 turnovers inside our own 30-yard line? I don't think so. So not only do you have to think about how this defense is looking now, how is this defense going to look in December? That's what matters when it comes to playoff football. The Bills need to get better in the trenches. Absolutely. Listen, if you're watching live stream of the game Monday between the Chiefs and the Bills, every single play when the Chiefs were on offense, the offensive line moved us 3 yards before we even showed any type of resistance. That's why they had over 250 rushing yards. It's not normal for a team to have over 250 rushing yards. But what can we do about it right now? Obviously, the Bills are going to rely on the players they have. We didn't go after Njoku. Obviously, the trade deadline's just around the corner. Maybe we'll hear about a trade. But for the most part, we have who we have. The team isn't getting much better as far as player personnel. The team isn't getting much better on paper. That's just the truth. Everyone wants to trade. Well, listen, we gave away a lot of draft capital in 2021 for Stephon Diggs, right? a lot of draft capital in 2021 for Stephon Diggs. And that's fine. I'm still more than okay with that trade. More than okay with that trade. But how much draft capital are you willing to give up? If you give away a third-round pick like the Ravens did for Njoku, then we don't have a third or a fourth-round pick. And I think we only have one fifth-round pick now. So you really have to manage expectations because the team that we have on paper is going to stay the same. So who does the pressure fall on then? It falls on Coach McDermott. It falls on Leslie Frazier. They need to be able to get the job done. The bad thing is that we won't learn anything good from this game, only bad to Dried Ocean. No, that's a great thing. It's a great thing. And listen, we can learn. Did we not learn anything good about the week 1 game? We can learn a lot of good things about this game. And listen, it's not always about learning things. It's about getting this offense back on track. You know, people argue all the time, does confidence matter, yes or no? Well, confidence in yourself matters. Right now, Josh Allen doesn't feel great about his ability to throw the ball. Well, what's a great way to help that? Playing the Jets. Right now, this defensive line doesn't feel like they can get pressure on the quarterback. Right now, this defensive line, Ed Oliver, Jerry Hughes, all of them feels like they can't win their one-on-ones. What's a great cure for that? The New York Jets. So yes, we got beat in the trenches bad the last 2 weeks. Absolutely. There's no doubting that. I completely agree with Daniel. But a good cure for a lot of those things is the New York Jets. And so luckily we do get the Jets this week. And hopefully, as was said earlier, this game's never in doubt, right? I don't know what I expect the score to be. I don't know if I have an expectation for the score. But here are some things that I really want to see in this game. If Tremaine Edmonds plays, I don't want to see him missing tackles. Remember that week 1 game where we had everything well, pretty much the whole game. The Bills were well ahead. The Bills had no question we're going to win that game. At no point did I feel any type of scared feeling during that game that we were going to lose that game. None at all. But they had an out route for about 6-7 yards to Jamison Crowder. Tremaine Edmonds could have stopped it right there. Excuse me, guys. Missed the tackle. Crowder takes off down the field, touchdown. Now, again, the game still wasn't in doubt. But he needs to wrap up. He needs to make those tackles. I know he's injured. But listen, how is he injured? He has an injured shoulder, right? Injured shoulder. So what's better for injured shoulder? Trying to body somebody or wrapping him up and letting someone else come and clean his clock? Wrap him up. Tackle. You know how to tackle. We've seen it. I don't know. It's just Phil missed the third one field goal. Thank you, Daniel. I didn't know what happened. I was like, they had a chip shot field goal, and yet still 10. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't you guys. Do I think Josh's struggles has anything to do with his visor he's been using during practice? He said it makes it harder to see. These past 2 games, Allen seemed to be staring down receivers. I actually think there's something to be said. I'm not sure about that, Dried. Dried Ocean. I haven't heard too much about that. But there is something to be said about that injury that he took to his left shoulder during that Las Vegas Raiders game. And how has that been affecting him? Now, I'm not going to make excuses for Josh Allen. If he's in the game, if he's ready to play, he needs to play. And he needs to play well. But at the same time, has that had some sort of effect that no one's really talking about? Has he been lingering? Has that injury been lingering and he really hasn't said anything, or the coaching staff really hasn't said anything because they don't want teams to focus in on it? Now, I'd question that only because remember last offseason, the Bills got in trouble for not being honest on their injury reports. So I feel like they'd be cautious about those type of things and making sure to let the NFL know so the NFL could do the proper protocol. But yeah, I'm not sure what is going on with Josh Allen the last 2 games. However, he's not, I can tell you one thing that's not living up to potential, and Daniel talked about earlier, the offensive line. The offensive line just needs to do a better job. And listen, I have seen plenty of plays where Josh Allen has had a clean pocket, but if you're not used to a clean pocket, and analysts talk about this all the time, you get jittery back there, right? You get jittery. So when you're playing those top defenses, if they get some pressure on you early, all of a sudden you're rolling out when you don't have to just because you have a mental clock and that mental clock's ticking, right? You're leaning on your back foot. Because remember, he's had 2 interceptions the last 2 weeks off his back foot, right? Where he's flat-footed or falling backwards when he throws the ball. The one late against the Titans, he was flat-footed. And then the one he threw where the linebacker made that one-handed interception or tapped it up to himself against the Chiefs. Both of those, he did not drive into the ball, and that's what he needs to do. I don't care how strong your arm is, you lose something on it. You lose some velocity when you're not, stepping into the throw. And one thing we love about Josh Allen is he can be very accurate even when he's not stepping into the throw. He can be. But if you have room in the pocket to step up, step up. Don't be stepping back. Just step up. It's okay. What's more likely to bounce back in your opinion, the offense or the defense? Well, it's tough, right? Because we've seen the offense do well so far this season. We really haven't seen the defense do well this season. But if you give me but that's just in 6 weeks, or I guess in 4 weeks. But if you give me a few seasons of value, I look at that defense and say, okay, this defense is going to do well. So when you ask that question, it's who do you have more faith in, Leslie Frazier or Coach Dable, Brian Dable? Which position? Show. I don't know why it's asking me to review that, but and to be honest, I have more faith in Leslie Frazier. Guys, as you're coming in here, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Again, really helps out the channel. I really do appreciate it. And again, keep the chat going. You guys are what makes this channel great, so I really do appreciate that. As long as you guys keep chatting, I'll be on here. The game getting ready to come back, or is back from halftime. The Giants get the ball to start the second half. So I'll keep you up to date as I'm on here. Which position is your priority? As myself, as far as which position we need to upgrade is my priority. I don't know. I mean, again, that defensive line, you need to get pressure on the quarterback. The fact that defensive line is the highest paid defensive line in the NFL, and we're not getting pressure on the quarterback should be embarrassing to those guys. Mario Addison is doing the best that he can. Jerry Hughes is doing nothing. I don't know what Jerry Hughes has done this season, but hasn't shown up. It's not like he's showing up for games, and I hope this is lighting a fire under him. Everyone talking bad about him, but he deserves every bit of it, right? He deserves every bit of it. They tried something different this week. They had Trent Murphy and Harrison Phillips out. Didn't seem to work all that well. So we'll see what happens. I think it's a shame that we have the highest paid defensive line in the NFL, and we're just not getting to the quarterback on a consistent basis. Hopefully that changes this Sunday. There's no reason for us not to get pressure on Sam Darnold, on the New York Jets. If Sam Darnold even plays, it's either Sam Darnold or Joe Flacco. I know Sam Darnold was practicing. Would you have given what Baltimore gave to Yannick? It bothers me the Bills didn't trade for him. Again, you don't just look at what they traded for him. Could the Bills afford him? Right, the Ravens are eating what I think it's $7.5 million of Yannick Ngakoue's contract. Can the Bills afford that? The truth is, no, they can't. The truth is, we are strapped at salary cap right now, and we're going to continue to be strapped, especially going into next year. Every team is strapped in salary cap due to the pandemic. We don't know how bad the salary cap's going to go down next season. We still don't. I mean, they have an idea. They're thinking about it. But we don't know for sure their numbers. So, yes, I would have loved to have Yannick Ngakoue on this team. But truth is, we just couldn't afford his salary. Same thing in the offseason. Why we couldn't trade for him, we still couldn't do it. And that's just the truth of it. And it's unfortunate. I wanted Yannick Ngakoue here, but it would have taken a lot of maneuvering around to get him here. And, again, we already have the highest paid defensive line in the game. And I think that, at least on paper, those players deserve that kind of money. They're not proving it. Right, especially talk about Jerry Hughes not proving he deserves a dime right now. Trent Murphy would have been my question mark. I know Daniel will disagree with me all day about that, and maybe Daniel's not the one or maybe Trent's not the one we need to sit. Maybe it was Jerry Hughes that needs to take a back seat to some of these guys, and we'll see how that happens. Any thoughts on how Singletary will perform in the snow? Every so often I go back and watch Shady's snow performances from a while back. Listen, Shady always had great snow performances. You go back to the Eagles when he played against the Detroit Lions. He always played well in the snow. That's just something that Shady did. So we cannot expect Devin Singletary to match up to that. But then we just get a guy from a pretty cold school who ran the ball pretty darn well. Utah is pretty cold, right? Let's be honest about it. Utah can get pretty frigid at times, and we got running back from there. He's not afraid to run in cold weather. So when it gets colder, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more and more Zach Moss. Don't get the guy from Florida, okay? The guy from Florida doesn't know anything about the snow. Leave him on the bench. Bring him in sporadically. But get that guy going from Utah in the snow. He's ready for it. He'll get you going. Who do I think we should get before the trade deadline? I don't think we should get anyone before the trade deadline. I would love to get all these players and possibly make this team all the better. But I don't know if I don't know if we should trade for anybody. Let me put it that way. I know I saw CBS had us trading for the defensive tackle in New Orleans, one of their defensive tackles, and maybe we could get a defensive tackle. At the end of the day, we should be playing with the guys we got. If we're not able to make it work with the highest paid defensive line, why is adding another defensive lineman going to help us? I don't understand that. I don't understand how we think adding. So I think when we get John Feliciano back, that offensive line is going to be much better. I think that's the truth. I think that John Feliciano coming back will be a huge help to the Buffalo Bills. But as far as the defensive line goes, we already have the highest paid defensive line in the NFL, and it doesn't seem to be doing crap. So why would we change that? Why would we get someone else? Sitting Harrison Phillips and Trent Murphy did not work out well at all. I agree with you, Daniel. Absolutely. They sat the wrong guys. Again, they sure sat Jerry Hughes, right? And Jerry Hughes has not done anything all season. But yeah, I don't know if I want to trade for anybody. Again, I look at the draft capital that we already gave up, and I just wonder if it's worth giving up for anyone else. Now, if you want to look at free agents, we can look at free agents, right? We can look at free agents, and I'm okay with that. Picking up some guys, releasing some guys. I'm good with that, but I'm not sure I'm okay with trading for somebody. But if we were to trade for a position, it has to be that tight end room, guys. Listen, that tight end room is so weak. We need to figure out something to do there. We really do. I mean, come on. We had two targets to our tight ends, all of them last week. All of them. We had 2 targets total. That's just not acceptable. Marcel Darius, everyone's talking about Marcel Darius. I just don't know if I want him back in Buffalo. Njoku would be good. All right, guys, listen, I've been on him for 20 minutes. I don't think I talked about much of the game at all coming up this Sunday. He's still young, too, says Dried Ocean. I would have loved to get Njoku, but again, I don't know if we can afford him. What can we afford? It's not just about what we need to trade for him. It's about can we afford them as well. And I just don't know if these players are affordable currently with how much salary cap the Buffalo Bills have. So let's talk about the game this Sunday against the Jets. And again, I want to talk about some things that worked out really well in the Buffalo Bills' favor in week 1. And I want to talk about some things that we need to improve on that happened in week 1 if we want to continue to win come this Sunday. So the first thing I want to talk about is time of possession. Guys, I don't know if you remember this, but week 1, listen, I've been crying about time possession all season long. The Buffalo Bills need to win time of possession. If John Brown doesn't play, do we bring in Duke? No, we go with 5. That's what we've done all season so far. When John Brown hasn't played, we went with 5, and it doesn't work. But I don't think that Duke Williams is ready to play. I really don't. I mean, just last week he tweeted about he needs to start binge watching Netflix, and so obviously his mind's not in the right place, and that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. So, I don't think Duke Williams has a shot to make the active roster this season, but that's just my opinion. Maybe week 17 if everything's locked up, but that's it. If they were to trade, I would want a space-eating defensive tackle. I mean, that's what everyone wants, right? They want someone who can force a double team on the inside, and someone who's just a big body who can force a double team. But I just don't know who's out there. I don't know who's out there on trade deadline. Like I said, I did see CBS talking about how the Buffalo Bills should trade for one of the defensive tackles in New Orleans, but I just don't know if that's doable. Just don't know. Let me look at Buffalo Bills trade rumors and see if anything comes up. I don't think anything will come up, but we still have about a week. I think a little more than a week, maybe even 2 weeks until the trade deadline. So there's still plenty of time, but I just don't know. We did sign Ahmad Gooden to the practice squad today, the linebacking core. Marcel listed Trent Murphy as a potential trade candidate. Don't know who would want that contract. At this point, I don't know who would want that contract. That's a lot of money that you're giving now. If the Bills eat some of that contract, I don't know, but I just don't know if the Bills would be willing to eat any of that contract. But all right, so week 1, the Buffalo Bills won time of possession 41 minutes and 16 seconds to 18 minutes and 44 seconds. Guys, if you win, look what Kansas City just did to us last week. If you win time of possession by that big of a margin, you're going to win the game. Only reason you wouldn't win the game with that big a margin is if you had 3 pick sixes or something crazy like that, because we saw that in the Packers-Tampa Bay game. the Packers control time possession. That's because Tampa Bay had a pick six and another interception that put them in the red zone. So it can happen. But if you win time possession 41 minutes to 19 minutes, you're going to win games. If John Brown can't play, Gabe Davis fills in. Gabe Davis would move to the 2 spot, and then you'd still have Cole Beasley as your slot guy. And then, you have McKenzie and Roberts. Although the one game that happened, Roberts, was that the same game? Was that the Titans game that John Brown didn't play, where all of a sudden Andre Roberts couldn't do anything on special teams either? So that might be something to consider as well. The Bills in week 1 had 409 total yards of offense. Again, Josh Allen throwing for his first ever 300-plus yard game. Did a great job in this game against the Jets. I did have that one fumble, I believe, in this game. To the Jets, 267 yards. Right? And that was when they had Le'Veon Bell. Now they don't have Le'Veon Bell. This Jets team is a dumpster fire, an absolute dumpster fire. So there's no reason for the Bills to come in this game. There's no reason for them to overlook them. I know some people, beginning of the season, I thought this game could be a trap game, right? Especially, I thought originally, obviously, we were supposed to play the Chiefs on Thursday. And when we were supposed to play the Chiefs on Thursday, I said right here on this channel that I was pretty much guaranteeing the Bills would win. Obviously, that didn't happen. But then I thought, man, 2 weeks before New England, the Bills might be looking ahead to that New England game, might look past the Jets. Now that we've lost 2 in a row, you can't look past the Jets. You can't look past anybody. You need to make a statement. You need to make a statement against lesser opponents. If you're not going to beat opponents that are maybe a little bit better than you, if you're not even going to show up for those games. Remember that Titans game? The Bills didn't even show up for that game. Then you need to be able to beat teams like the 0-6 New York, New Jersey Jets. That's just my opinion. So those are some things that I liked from week 1. The time possession was greatly in our favor, and it needs to be that way again this week. Total yards were greatly in our favor. It needs to be again this week. But when I think about things from week 1 that we need to improve upon, I look directly at that red zone offense. Our red zone offense went 3 of 8 in week 1, 38% in week 1. Now we've been a lot better since then. In fact, Josh Allen had 2 fumbles in that game because one was in the red zone, one was just outside. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills have done a lot better in the red zone, including going for 2 for 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs in the red zone. But we need to do better than 38% in the red zone. We need to do better than kicking field goals. Remember, Tyler Bass missed 2 field goals the first week 1 against the New York Jets. Didn't miss another field goal until last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Brown was out of the Titans game, had got 0 catch. Yeah, he hasn't had catch in a while. Yeah, I think he had 7 targets in the game last week. Maybe 4 targets. I think he had 4 targets in the KC game, especially that one drop on the first series. I can't get over that drop. I feel like that drop changes the whole perplexion of that game. If we're able to get just 1 first down on the first possession, that might change some things for the Buffalo Bills. But again, looking at the Jets game from week 1, there are some things that I want to see change. The turnovers, obviously a big thing, right? Josh Allen ran the ball more than our running backs did in that first game against the Jets. That shouldn't happen again. You should see more Singletary. You should see more Zach Moss. You should see more of those guys and not so much of Josh Allen. Josh Allen has not been running the ball all that much the last 2 weeks against the Chiefs and the Titans. I don't want to see him running the ball exceedingly all that much in this game either. I'd rather see Singletary. Listen, everyone's questioning Singletary. Everyone's questioning what Singletary has and if you should start considering playing Moss more. I don't think so. Listen, this whole offense has struggled over the past 2 weeks. This whole offense has looked bad over the past 2 weeks, especially this offensive line. So if you're going to say the offensive line is terrible, which it is, how can you blame the running back for not doing better? Are you saying everything's terrible, or should you fix one problem at a time, and then if that one problem doesn't resolve the issue, then move on from there and try to resolve another issue? That's how it should be done. We should be trying to fix the offensive line. If we fix the offensive line, if John Feliciano comes back and we have a good offensive line again, and we still have issues running the ball, then you look at who gets the carries. Then you look at who you give the ball to. It shouldn't be change both of them right now. It should be one or the other. So looking at this game against the Jets, again, I think the Bills should have no issues winning this game. And again, guys, join me this Sunday as we do a live play and reaction to that game. But if it does become an issue, guys, then I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not. If this is a back and forth game, even if the Bills pull it out, I'm not gonna be happy about this game. Hopefully, the Buffalo Bills take care of business, even though it's on the road. I know it's a divisional game, and then we can look forward to that Week 8 matchup against the New England Patriots. That's the one that Bills fans should have circled. That's the one that I said is the biggest game of the year for the Buffalo Bills. Every game is important, but you need to be able to win that game against New England. Get past the Jets, beat them easily. Again, you can't look past the Jets. If you're a Buffalo Bills player, you should be focused on the Jets. And I was one of those guys. Week 4, I would have said, "Oh, Coach McDermott, he's not gonna let this team look past anybody." But I remember that Titans game, and Coach McDermott's been out coached the past 2 weeks. So now he needs to prove it. You can't get out coached by Adam Gase. If you get out coached by Adam Gase, there is a big problem. A big problem. And I don't think we have that big of a problem in Buffalo. So I do expect a big win here against the Jets. I do expect the Bills to move to 5-2. But we'll see what happens. Again, guys, enjoy the rest of your Thursday night football game. The Giants still trailing the Eagles 10-7. Carson Wentz just overthrew a wide open receiver, or his running back, I guess. So great job by these offenses in a 10-7 game. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Again, guys, join me on Sunday for the game between the Buffalo Bills and the New York, New Jersey Jets. The Buffalo Bills looking to get back on track. If you haven't already subscribed to Billievers Talk, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you think, Matt Cap. I'll see you later, and I'll see you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.